Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Run It Up number 52. We are here today playing some Heads Up 50 cent $1 no limit Texas Hold'em on UltimatePoker.com. And we're starting off right with a nice little check raise fold here against this opponent. I'm going to do something a little weird here. I'm going to actually, because we had just started this match, and for some reason I had, when I auto posted, it was messed up. So I'm giving him two buttons because when it auto high carded once and I sat out, it was a whole big thing. Anyway, don't worry about any of that. We're off here. I've only played maybe I've played like two hands total so far. We've played this guy before a couple times. You know, he seems competent. I don't have any particular reads beyond that, beyond his general competency. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We are hopefully going to turn it around. We've had a couple sessions. We've got beat up a little bit, but hey, it happens. There's nothing too crazy though. I don't look back at any of the hands and be like, oh, that was really bad. But yeah, so here we are trying to run it up. I've been a little out of it today. I'm not gonna lie. Today is I don't know what. Some combination of like not sleeping well the last couple days and I got my crew in town working on some other different stuff, so I've been like super kind of like stressed with that. So it's good though. I'm feeling good. We get to relax, play some poker, run it up together hopefully. So we'll see if we can actually make that happen. Prior to playing this, I was just watching the PBS Frontline documentary. I don't know that it's like League of Denial, I think, about brain injury and the NFL's like denying of the science and the concussion stuff. Crazy. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. It's very well done. On I don't know if anyone in the world can watch for free, but certainly from America, USA, we can watch over on PBS somewhere. Not that I'm usually a big fan of like PBS programming, but they did a good job with this. I decided to check raise here. I mean, I think that this player is probably often enough bet folding, and now I don't mean even particularly this player. I just mean our opponent. But he's done this twice now. This tiny little re-raise thing, which might be a function of. Yes, that is the long doorbell. Also, the losing this pot doorbell. Apparently, also with that, I guess what that is. Just two pair, huh? So interesting that he decided to show it, and that definitely tells me something because I thought maybe there was some chance that he was that he like really kept that like tiny three bet tool like, and he was using that as like an exploitive type of thing. But he might not be. That might just be his standard. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Maybe check raise him a little bit tighter going forward. But gonna start here with a three bet. Don't see any reason not to. I kind of want to see how he's gonna react to it, and maybe he folds, maybe he calls, maybe he four bets. Like we're kind of just trying to get a feel for what he is gonna be doing in this match. So I'm fine with that little three ball there. Certainly gonna be min raising up until we have some reason not to with most of our hands. I think this is actually one of the first ones we've had as the button. Gonna start here with a bet. Obviously, you're gonna have to fold to a check raise. Oh, our heads up party seems like it has been spoiled. It's an animal avatar though. I think we'll be all right. We're feeling good. We're dressed, Conor McGregor. We're showing up. Trying to do work. We're wearing the that's right. Oh man, this angle is not good for this shot. There we go. That's right. We're the Ultimate Fighter, Team Sonnen jersey. How do we not win, Chael P Sonnen jersey. How do we not crush it? We'll see how that goes, I suppose. Off to the flop we go with the king and the 7 against the dog avatar. I like our chances. I don't really mind the dog avatar as much. The cat avatar, we're surrounded by it now. I don't see how we can lose. I think we just have to reload. Against the check raise here, I mean, like, come on, get out of here. That's just a joke, right? Let's start with a call. The only thing I'm like really afraid of is the club hitting because clubs would make some sense that he could check raise with. But, I'm not really too concerned. Slightly concerned, perhaps, but more often than not, he has something that we might potentially beat here. Weird. I think I'm gonna raise and then fold if he shoves. I mean, I know we have a king now, so we could arguably just call if we think he's bluffing, but maybe there's some chance he'll bet fold with an ace. This might just be bad. I don't know how I feel about this. I actually think maybe we should be calling. All right. Never mind. I actually, even though we won that pot, I'm not necessarily sure I agree with how he played it. I like our call on the flop. I just, I don't believe him for one hot toot and second there when he check raises us on an ace deuce 5 flop. Like, come on, that's stop joking around. Well, actually, I encourage him to joke around because it means more money for us. But I just really didn't believe it and decided to raise on turn because I felt like he was probably folding a lot. But given that we actually did turn a pair, maybe we should just be calling. But it's possible that he folded an ace or a better hand than us, right? It could happen. So I think we're going to just check and give up here. I mean, I don't think that he's going to fold enough hands. When he checks back flop and calls on turn, he has pairs too often or just hands that won't fold. Like ace queen, ace 10 doesn't even fold here, I don't think. There are just too many draws that missed. He can just put us on, 5, 7, 9, 10, queen 10, like so many things. Surprising, we probably would have got the 10-9 to fold. But I'm a little surprised to see him not bluff with that on the river. But he does manage to win that pot with the old 10 high at showdown. Points for you, sir. It's like 10 high is not really an achievement. When you get starting to win it with 7 high at showdown, then you start getting points. 7 high, 8 high, those are the real achievements. Well, no credit for 10 high. 10 high is a great hand. But yeah, so here we are grinding, trying to see what's going on here. Hopefully, we'll turn it around. Maybe we should read a viewer question. We've got probably only 1 or 2 more days. I might do this the whole week, and then maybe next week we'll start a different twist. But I'm gonna change up the format of I've got some ideas. But for the time being, all of you that wrote me questions, I really do want to respond to. So I definitely want to try to get around to at least some of these. So let's see. I've got a question. Oh, that's right. There's a bell now, which I've now just accidentally hit. I've got a bell. That's right. I've got a bell. I've got a bell. I've got a sheriff badge, which Tyrant is holding on to, if you've seen it. Oh, we've got ourselves another leprechaun. Oh, what a day we've got. A cat, a dog, a reg, and a leprechaun. And us. That's great. Anyway, I've got a bell here. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this bell yet, but, hey, well, I'm ready for it if need be. All right, let's read this question here. Dear Jay Carver, since I know you like it when we start with that, thank you, with a commentary, even better. Oh, chop it up. I assume that money went in on the river there. It would be pretty surprising if the money went in on the turn or something like that. Cats and dogs, they're just feeding the rake. They don't understand. All right, dear Jay Carver, I'm an 18-year-old who has been running it up for the past 2 years. My current bankroll is just shy of $14,000. Congratulations, sir. That being said, I can't seem to break out of a current slump. I've maintained the same bankroll for roughly 3 months. How do you personally break out of slumps and continue adding to your bankroll? Mac. Great question, great email. Totally congratulations on putting on your serious poker shoes and running it up there to 14K. That's pretty impressive. You should be proud of that. The other thing that I would say to you is that 3 months is really not long enough to make any kind of analysis. You can't be like, oh, I'm losing for 3 months. So I must be doing something wrong. That's probably not true. I mean, you shouldn't take that to mean don't improve, don't work on your game, don't think about poker. But it's perfectly reasonable that you could be doing nothing wrong and just breaking even for 3 months, especially since I think you're breaking even, you're not even losing. So I think that that's funny. Yeah, the guy's name is actually all in. I think that you should definitely evaluate it and look at things. So this guy check raised us with a bluff before, right? All right. I guess we have to call. I could do something else, but I think calling is probably fine. That is a flop that we are probably going to have to stick with, given that we have 2 times pot to stack ratio, right? Our stack is about twice pot, so we're probably not going to be able to fold here. It's very possible this guy has a value hand, hand better than us, ace, jack plus. It's quite possible. But, I think often enough, we just saw that guy do something clowny, so... Now the question is it better to shove or better to call? I don't know. I think it's very close, and I think I'm going to end up shoving because once in a while he folds a spade, which has a lot of equity against us, and sometimes he actually calls us with worse, like 2 jacks with a jack of spades, stuff like that. We do get it in very badly against like ace jack, like red ace jack just has us drawing to near dead with an 8. I like our chances now that he's taken this long, though. I mean, I would be surprised if we were beat. All right. That worked out. Worked out pretty well for us, I suppose. Anyway, so listen, if you're losing for 3 months, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong. Like poker inherently is a game that doesn't reward correct decisions. So you have to really, the best poker players will be able to detach themselves from whether or not they win or lose. Correct, right and wrong, and win and lose are not the same things in poker, right? So you really want to focus on being right and that doesn't necessarily even mean that you got your money in good. Just that means that like with your evaluation of the scenario, did you make the right decisions? So I think that did you make the right evaluations? Did you miss any information? Like always work on improving and trying to. We've talked about it before. Trying to draw in. How do you like that? That is great. Also, it looks like I'm groping someone, but we all know I wouldn't do those such things, right? Anyway, but yeah, you want to pull in all the information you can pull in and make the most educated decision that you can, right? And you always want to try to be on the lookout for more information and that kind of thing. So if you're breaking even, the best thing that you can do is study hard, work hard. One of the things that I think that I did that set me out from most other poker grinders back when I was a grinder was the fact that I worked almost just as hard as almost as much as I played. That wasn't true that wasn't always true in my career, but in the first half, I think that was probably close to true. I worked very, very hard in my game, reviewed sessions. I think one of the issues, perhaps since you're so young, is that you're probably, if you're a young poker player, you're a little more isolated. Like I talked about that a lot in my Storytime series, where I told like how I started in poker and was, about was your age. Oh, you. Oh, back when we were so young. Now, that's it. 26, that's it. What else is there? That's pretty sweet flop for blue king deuce. The blue king deuce. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's a pretty good one. Certainly going to be check raising here if our opponent decides to fire a bet. We're check raising for straight up value because we have, a pretty good hand. Overcard, king high flush draw, etc., etc. All right, well, we just drilled it on the turn here, which was nice of the turn card to be blue. Gonna start here with a bet. I don't think we really have to talk about this hand too much. Oh, okay, he calls very quickly. So 10 on the river is slightly unfortunate. It's possible that he has this beat, but he has to have a hand like 10 jack almost exactly for us to lose this pot. And he raised, he could have 10 jack, but, let's be real. So I think that I'm going to just bet. I'm going to bet like something like this. I think shoving might get him to fold too much. We kind of want to represent that we have like king queen. Looks like this probably worked out well for us. We want to represent that we have maybe like king queen, queen 9, 9 8, something like that. And I think if we shove, we put maybe too much pressure on because he's probably not that strong, or we would have heard about it already. Nice river, Jay. Don't think that was the one. Nice turn, maybe. Oh, maybe he had a 10 is what he's saying. Or maybe he's not. Yeah, okay. I was confused. I was like, all right, the river wasn't a jack. and then I was like, oh, he's talking to me. And then I was like, oh, I got there on the turn. And then it all kind of made sense. So I guess we could have actually maybe even made more money if if he improved on with a 10 on the river. Maybe he would have called a shove. But I'm pretty happy with it. We got near max value, I think. Can't be too upset about that one. going to be betting here. Do I love it? I do not love it. Do I think that it's profitable? I sure do. So yeah, if you're one of the many like Finnish 16-year-old legendary crushers out there, I looked at some of the analytics for Europe, and there's like 3 European countries that has like, oh, it looks like we're disconnected, but hopefully we will hopefully our internet will reconnect here at some point soon. But yeah, if you're one of those, like, I looked at my analytics and there is like 9% of all viewers from like Finland or something is under the age of like 17 or something. It's like, okay, kids these days, you know? I mean, I obviously don't care, but I guess I should worry about this thing not being connected, right? Don't really know. Is it the internet? Who knows? Let's pull that over there. All right. The live, the video doesn't stop. It does look like my internet has disconnected, which is going to make for a unexciting video. Yeah, the internet is down. Well, I guess I could try to fix that and then come back. So, be right back, I suppose. All right. Well, it looks like there's no internet in my entire building right now. So I guess that's the end of Run It Up 52. We did pretty good though. We ended up winning like $83 or something like that. I'm not really sure what we won because I didn't go back and check the video, but I know we won at least like 80 something. So hey, we ran it up. I guess there's that. So I don't want to obviously just stop the video where we left it off because we're only like halfway through, but we will do some of these viewer questions that I've got piled on here. So hopefully we'll get through some of these cool things. And I'm sorry about all of this, but hey. You know, what can I do? It's not my fault. Hopefully the internet comes back in the next however many hours it is before release time. Or otherwise, I know there'll be Run It Up riots. It'll be Riot It Up, right? Anyway, and not in the fun League of Legends way. Anyway, so we talked about this, about how you break out of slumps. And I know it's hard to, you know, I know it feels like you've been losing for a long time, but just keep working hard. And I think you'll find yourself you'll find yourself picking back up as long as you're a winning player. Hard work is the key to a lot of things in life. All right, next question. I guess I should pull randomly since they're otherwise ordered. Oh, all right. Good question. Dear Jay Carver, with an exclamation mark. Very excitedly, Dear Jay Carver. I see you have both Link and Sephiroth chilling behind you. Yes, I do. Who wins in a straight-up sword fight? Ha! I don't know. Do we have a good clear shot of these things? Yeah, we do. Link, Sephiroth. Yeah. Well, I think given my combination, you know, we have Epona, you know, that's kind of hard. That's a big advantage, you know. Being on a horse is good for mounted combat, you know. But the range on the sword is so far. I don't know. It's tough to say. I feel like you gotta give it to Link though. You know, like he's got a lot of tools in the bag. You know, and we're big fans of tricksters over here at Run It Up, aren't we? So I think I gotta give it to Link. Also, what do you think of the upcoming Munoz versus Machida fight? I think that fight is going to be a very, 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 very tough fight for Mark Munoz to win. I mean, Lyoto Machida has made his career off of beating wrestlers who just, you know, he just always gets out of the way. He has amazing takedown defense. He's always out of range. Some of his best wins are against, like, Rashad. It's a great example, and I don't think Mark Munoz is Rashad, although my opinion of Rashad has gotten worse lately, and Mark has done okay. But, you know, he just got smashed by Weidman not that long ago. Not that I think Machida is Weidman by any means, but, you know, I really think Lyoto is going to be a very big favorite in that fight, and I think Mark Munoz is going to have a hard time winning. You know, he'll have to win through some sort of, like, wrestling control game, and I just don't think that works on Lyoto. I think Lyoto loves people rushing in at him, and he'll just destroy you. So I think Lyoto is probably a very big favorite to win that fight, and I think Mark's got his work cut out for him. All right, next question here. Dear Jay Carver, I've recently been intoxicated by the prospect of online poker. I know, we've all been there. And I really like Run It Up as a series that will hopefully parallel the run I hope to make in the near future. All right. I want to know, in what ways do your skills in trading card games translate to your poker skills and vice versa? Skills like reading your opponent, patience, endurance, have a practical application in poker and others like. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I never played I never played many card games beyond Magic, and I only played Magic up till I was like 13, and then kind of gave it up. Even though I wish I hadn't. I I I wish I hadn't given it up because I remember how much I loved it, but I ended up giving it up because all of my friends weren't into it, and I made like the social decision to not hang out with. It was bad. I wish I had done it. I wish I had like I wish I wasn't such like a chameleon in like seventh grade and all through high school and junior high. Really, like I really tried to like not stand out, and I didn't embrace my love of Magic as much as I wish I had in then. Actually, and before then, I actually was a big fan of the Star Wars collectible card game, but I never actually played it. I just was like a collector, which seems very silly, but hey, well, I was a kid. What do I know? As far as what are the skills actually, how much do the skills carry over? I think they really do carry over quite a bit. Like if you play, we're going to eventually do a Magic video on my channel, and you'll see, I think, a little bit of how I feel that there are some similar thought processes and information you can gather from Magic, given that I'm good in poker, and I'm sure that translates in reverse. Like good Magic players, I'm sure will have similar times reading, similar experiences reading people and understanding like strategy and setting up plays, and for sure any sort of like, if you've ever seriously studied or played any game, I think you're gonna find that those skills will translate well in poker. Poker and life too. I think that just evaluating everything in terms of that same like a strong, fundamental, logical thought process, that person is going to think through most games. If they really, once you understand it, like I think that thought process applies very well to games and life in general. So I think for sure, if you've been playing any sort of competitive game and you've really been studying it, I think you'll find success in poker without too much trouble. I don't know specifically about any like specific games that you might have played that as far as like specific skills, but definitely I think that you can get some. You can get something out of it for sure. Let's do 2 or 3 more of these. Dear J. Carver, I'm sorry about my other blank email, but I hit send on accident. No problem, I didn't even know. That's the wonderful thing about having an assistant. I had no idea. It just gets on my desk and I just read it. It's great. My question is, what do you think of the UFC fight of Velasquez versus Dos Santos, and will you be betting on it? Keep on fucking drilling it, Daniel. I didn't say fucking. This guy said fucking. I would never swear in a video. Velasquez, Dos Santos, I think that Cain has obviously kind of really convinced me in his last fight that he can kind of handle Dos Santos. But, Junior's got amazing boxing. I love Junior Dos Santos as a person. I think he's like my emotional pick. I really like Junior. But I just think Cain's got a more robust overall game. I think that Cain's wrestling is just probably like the factor that determines like why he'll win that fight. I just think that Junior doesn't have really an answer for that. Junior is just like a really strong boxer, but Cain's striking is still very good. Like if you've ever seen, there was an article on my site at some point in the last few months, and we discovered that Cain Velasquez's striking output was like second in the UFC to Dominic Cruz. Something like insane like that. Like Cain is not like it's not like Cain is Tito. You know what I mean? Like Cain actually has like a very strong striking output to go with his wrestling. So I think that is going to be a very tough fight for Junior, and at like a 2-to-1 price, I don't think I'm going to be betting on. I don't know, man. I find it hard to pull a trigger there for Cain. I think the line as it is now, where it's like plus 200 Junior, minus 230 Cain, I don't really want to touch that too much. But, the fights tonight. There's a UFC card tonight. We could have done like a little preview show if I had remembered that early enough. But yeah, tonight I actually have a bunch of bets out too, because tonight I think is like the night of the underdog. There's a ton of like cool bets that I think are all pretty good. I've always been a big fan of Dong Young Kim. I think he's great. He's like plus 200 tonight or something like that. And Jake Shields fighting Damian Maia. I'm a really big fan of Damian Maia, and Jake Shields hasn't been too impressive lately. But I think that there's a chance Jake can win. I don't think I actually bet on Jake. I might have. I don't think I actually did. But, Jake's got such a good wrestling game, good jiu-jitsu. It's possible that Jake can win a decision against Damian, or submit him or something like that, or get some sort of like a knockout, something like that. But I think Damian's a favorite for sure. But from a value perspective, I think Jake wins that fight more than the current line is laying him. Like I think he's like plus 250 or something right now. I could be wrong about that, but I think there's a little bit of profit in Jake. And what are the other fights that are going on tonight? Joey Beltran's fighting Fabio Maldonado, right? Maldonado, something like that. I think I bet on Fabio for that, and there's one other one. But yeah, a lot of underdogs tonight, so there is that. Oh, I forgot to also say, I actually missed it, but yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the first episode of the Final Table. I had some good times realizing that. Like last week, I was just like, think about last year. That was awesome. I have a lot of good memories from that preparation last year. As like last October, this time there was 14 people living in my house as we were preparing Russ to play at the main event Final Table. Just for $8.5 million, no big deal or anything. Everyone had been at my house at that point for. At this point, I guess everyone pretty much came like the 1st of October, I think, and they were there until the Final Table. We all went to Vegas on like the 21st or something of October for the Final Table. So I have some great memories from that time. And if you haven't seen those videos, check them out. The Final Table. It's finaltable.tv. It's easy. I made it very easy. All right. One last question here. Let's pull out one here. Oh, too long. I can't do it. Oh, this is great. All right, let's do this one. This seems good. Dear Jay Carver, have you ever been playing a session or analyzing a hand and realized they were just fucking playing cards? I think that's like clicking buttons, right? How did you keep yourself motivated, which I think is a separate question. Yeah, for sure. Like you can definitely think yourself. You can have the best logical thought process and be analyzing a hand and just like be going through it, and it makes no sense. Like this person clearly can't have it. All your logic is correct and right, and usually would be right, but for some reason that guy is just clicking buttons. And even though you analyzed it correctly and usually you'd be right, in this one instance, this guy somehow has like a hand that makes no sense. Like how could this guy ever show up with Deuce 5 suited in this spot? He re-raised pre-flop. He check raised this weird flop. And then the turn, he made some other weird overbet, and it all seemed really weak to you, but on the river, he just rivered a gut shot. And then, blasts all in, and you're just like, doesn't make any sense, call, and somehow he actually got there. That happens for sure, and that's exactly the kind of thing that, especially if it's a cash game, you should just like okay, there you go, you got this time. If you played correctly and made right evaluations the whole way through, all you can really do is like shrug and say, okay, that's poker. This was your 1 in 1,000 times you win this crazy pot, So I think trying to be aware of how long the long run is in poker, I think will really help you with that. And as far as staying motivated goes, I think that it depends whether you're a professional or an amateur, and what motivates you generally about poker. For me, when I was really serious, about my poker career, I felt that like I think that I always just wanted to be the best. I was motivated by watching the highest stakes games, right? I was always motivated by watching 300, 600 if I was playing 25-50, or watching 25-50 if I was playing 5-10, watching 5-10 when I was playing 2-4. You know what I mean? Like I was always motivated by moving it up and climbing the ladder and playing for more and more money. So for me, the idea of being elite was what motivated me. For other people, wow, that was nice. for other people, it might be more about the money. It might be the idea of like, I want to win at poker so I can earn this. And that's fine. Print out a picture of a boat and put it on your wall if that's what you want, a jet ski or whatever it is that makes you happy in life, I think that could be your motivator. And I think that one of the keys maybe for poker is to kind of figure out what are your own keys for self-motivation, because if you're a professional poker player, there's no one really that will be motivating you, yeah, of course you could have some people that are motivating you, but one of the things that I think I found most true and that I enjoyed but was probably a negative for me with poker is that no one really pushed me. No one motivated me. It was a very individual journey. It was an individual experience. Like no one cares about your results really because it's all on you. Win, lose, get health insurance, all that stuff falls on your shoulders. Professional poker requires a lot of individual responsibility for a game that, you can be as irresponsible and sleep till 6 p.m. or whatever you want to do, but every decision ultimately falls on your shoulders to evaluate and manage. And along that is motivation and making sure you're motivated and playing your best poker at all times, or at least you're trying to play as reasonably well as you can at all times. So I think that's up to each person. You got to figure that out for yourself and go from there. Anyway, hey, you know what? Let's do it. We don't do this too often. Let's do the sign off like this, Hey, it's been a weird video, but we ran it up, right? We ran it up. We answered some questions. It was kind of fun. I had fun, at least. It was pretty enjoyable. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, tweet me at Jason Somerville and be like, hey, Run It Up 52. It was a little weird, but I still liked it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with internet. Still no internet on my computer, by the way. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with more. I will almost certainly be back tomorrow with more, so don't worry about that. Hopefully it'll be an actual episode of Run It Up, but I guess that is yet to be seen. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you back for more very soon. Monday through Friday, every day, new videos. That's pretty sweet. We're gonna stick with that for a while. So hope you enjoy it. Hope you're going to enjoy it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Peace.